What is up, GOAT World? It is me, your boy JDZ, and I'm back at you again with another GOAT format video. We have just concluded the Clash of Champions 2024, and it was a stellar treat. If you don't know, the Clash of Champions is an invitational event that invites champion level duelists to come out and play in a tournament. And today, we're going to go over the top 8 deck lists from that tournament. But as we're hopping in, make sure you guys go ahead and hop on that like button. And while you're down there, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, as we're going to see what the metagame is going to be after Clash of Champions. After these events, typically in this tournament, a lot of duels like to pay attention to what these duels are cooking, because these are some of the best duels in all of GOAT format. And typically what they do tends to kind of set the pace of what the net deckers typically want to see. So with that, I'm going to hop on in at number 8. I'm going to talk about TK Griffiths. You guys see this duelist around the Discord all the time. He was the head judge of GOAT format, but now he kind of took a step back and is now trying to be a head top duelist. Won the GOAT World War I playing a very similar deck to the one you see on your screen. It is a Chaos Turbo deck featuring the Tech Time Wizard. Okay, Time Wizard, I believe, and some other duelists agree that Time Wizard is for sure a playable card in GOAT format. It is, in fact, a light monster. It can destroy your opponent's side of the field, and you can kind of set it and kind of bait mind controls and nobles and crossouts and things of that sort. I think it's a super solid deck. Obviously, the things that still kind of blow my mind, the one of Upstart Goblin and the one of Jar Greed. I think you just play 2 of one and just leave the other one off. I don't understand that ratio. Maybe we have to sit down with TK and figure out why he's going 1 and 1. But he's in the Clash of Champions, and what do I know? So maybe you know something that we all don't know. Continuing on into the side deck, the 3 Zumbari, the Dark, the Jinzo, and also you have the Gravity Bind and the Royal Decree. This tech never really took off. I still think this is another really strong tech that players can start to adopt, is that instead of playing a lot of the battle traps and a lot of the other this and that, you just play Gravity Bind. And a lot of decks cannot handle Gravity Bind, especially if you're playing in the Turbo Mirror. A lot of times the Turbo Mirror is going to just remove a lot of their spell trap cards. Well, if you just have Gravity Bind, they literally cannot attack you. And then when you're ready to attack, you just flip Royal Decree or summon Jinzo, and now you can just sometimes just OTK through your opponent's whole position. Sometimes, especially when you just summon Time Wizard, get it right, blow up their board. You guys know the vibes, man. So I think that's a really cool, interesting tech, and it just didn't take off. But maybe now people see TK is doing this, and you might be able to adopt that into your game plan. I think that is really cool stuff. But huge congratulations to you, TK. Top 8 performance for Clash of Champions. Not bad at all. Very cool. Moving on. Okay, another deck in the top 8. We have Lucas, the Heretic, bringing out the warrior strategy, dusting it off. Lucas took a huge break, and that's another thing I love about Clash of Champions. It allows some of these duelists to just take a huge break, take a pause from the game for a while, refresh, regroup, and then come back in and play in this tournament. And he showed up with the warrior strategy, kind of standard based on some of Lucas's previous performances. He's got the Spirit Reapers in the main deck. He got the Magician of Faith in the main deck. You have the double Kaiku, double Blade Knight. That might be a trend that warrior players can begin to adopt. 1 Book of Moon in the main deck, 1 Smashing Ground in the main deck, 1 Mind Control in the main deck. So just tech all through the main deck to kind of help out in those tough spots. Smashing Ground going back into the warrior deck, I think is pretty cool. 1 Ninja Grandmaster, I'm still thinking you can bump that bad boy up to 2 somehow. I don't know, but 1 Smashing Ground, 1 Mind Control, I don't hate it at all. In the side deck, you're continuing on with the GK Spy Mobius situation, double Zumbira, no Sakuretsu armor in the side deck. You got 2 in your main deck. You do have Bomber's Trap Hole, more dust, more smashing, another Mind, and that patent pending Zing Zen, who's super duper solid warrior deck right here. This could be the stand. If you want to play warriors, maybe you can take this bad boy for a spin and see how it treats you. But again, you want to take all these decks with a grain of salt, because this is a very intimate, closed setting type tournament. So maybe these decks are made specifically for this venue, but still some of the techs and concepts, you can take those and build upon them, and you can kind of see what they're cooking, and maybe you can continue to grow from that. And that's how the game continues to revolve. All right, huge shout out to you, Lucas the Heretic. Come on back and play some more duelists. I like seeing you out here in the brackets, man. It warms my heart whenever I see Lucas the Heretic out there absolutely cooking. Okay, speaking of another warrior strategy, a lot of warriors in this thing. I thought the warriors were dead. Clash rolls up and the warriors just pull up. I don't know what's going on with that, but we have a lot of warriors out here in the top cut of the Clash of Champions, and this is going to be Moxie's, the 2-time FLC champion, is going to be out here playing this version. You're going to go full blades, and then you just got the double Kaiku. The main deck Zumbira is going to be the tech here. Both duelists also leaning heavy on this Smashing Ground. That is a trend that I think can be sustainable. Having a Smashing Ground in your deck just might, because Sort can get on you and just invalidate your existence. BLS can get on you and just invalidate your existence. Well, if you just have a card that can just put that crap in the graveyard, man, Smashing Ground is super playable in Go format. Double Dust Tornado, triple Trap Dust Shoot. You have the triple Solemn Judgment, and everything else seems super duper standard. Main deck Zumbira, that could be energy. Main deck Tribe, also pretty chill. You got the Spy Mobius package deal with double Wang Hu, and then you have the double Brand Control is going to be in your side deck as well with the 1-of Magician of Faith. So you have some flips you can get into going into game 2 and beyond. The 1-of Saku, 1-of Widespread, 1-of Bottomless Technology. Another thing, I'm saying 2 bottomless trap holes from 2 top players. Maybe that's something that you could steal. Maybe bottomless might be a little bit better than we thought that it was. And you got the patent pending Zinger as well going in for Moxie's side deck to complete the 55. Cool deck. I like to see Moxie's out here too, man. Moxie's taking a break, but that's fine. Keep showing up for Clash, and maybe you can get the dub, perhaps the 2-time. Back in the building. All right. So we're moving on. We have another fan favorite. We have another front running duel. We have Alvarado, who's basically playing the exact same deck that he's kind of been. No, we changed it up a little bit. We changed it up. I think Alvarado changed it up a little bit. There are some changes I'm noticing right now. We got the main deck Card Destruction. I don't think he plays Card Destruction main deck. Got that bad boy in there. And we're going to play the main deck Sakuretsu Armors. We got 2 of them. I think he read the tea leaves and he saw some of the people that were registered for this tournament. And it was like, this thing is about to get warrior. This thing is about to get real physical, real quick. Let me protect myself with these Sakuretsu Armors. So loaded up 2 of those things in main deck. They probably had great effects because there was a ton of warrior strategy and aggressive based decks in this tournament. And it must have worked out pretty decent for the GFC, FLC, SJC champion out here. Triple Zumbira going crazy all day, even though my stock on Zumbira is kind of plummeting. I saw this dude have some terrible showings. There were so many positions in this tournament. You can go back and check. That entire event is live stream. There were so many Zumbiras that were just on the field, not doing a damn thing, with just open boards. Open boards couldn't connect to nothing. I'm like, this is a Berserk Gorilla, if this is damn Skill Dark Magician or somebody else, you could just win right now. But I understand why people play Zumbira and why it's so good, and you're gonna have to continue to play it because he's just carrying a lot for this deck. But still, man, it just pisses me off. There's got to be something better. Jirai Gumo, dude, I don't know what's better, but Zumbira's pissing me off. But anyway, you got the 2 Minecons in the side, the 1 Book of Moon is gonna be in the side deck, and the Triple Solemn still finds its way into the side deck along with Swords and Dust Tornado. Swords is another card that's up. Value of Swords is going back through the roof. Love to see some Swords feeling like back in these decks. But great performance for Alvarado, as always. Probably still out front in the Player of the Year discussion. If I had to make my say, I think he's doing pretty well in that discussion. Doing well in this tournament. I think that's pretty neat. All right, so huge shout out to you. And now we're moving on to top 4. Top 4 is going to be LaBounty, who just edged out his rival in that match. If you guys need to see a match, make sure you go back to the stream and watch that match in particular, where LaBounty and Alvarado played against each other. It was just a really cool match. They were both playing out of their minds, and it was just a great tournament experience. But seeing 2 of these great duels at the top of their game, getting it in, I think it's pretty neat. You're playing this version of a warrior deck, so you have 13 monsters. You're driving that thing all the way down with triple Kaiku, double blade, huh? We're going triple Kaiku, double blade, one Ninja Grandmaster still. So you're just driving the monsters way low, and then that allows you to play some Jar Greeds just to kind of, you get the 1 normal summon. Maybe you can get those things down and protect them and get more value from your normal summons, I guess is the vibe. But 13 monsters seems super duper low. I guess you're counting the Rotas, you're counting the Pre, you're counting the Call, and you're just gonna up the traps a little bit. Triple shoot, 1 Dust Tornado, Triple Solemn, Saku. Man, I think it's cool. I think it's cool. I like it around the 14, 15 in the monster variety, but I think getting it down to 13, LaBounty clearly knows what the hell he's doing. So we're going to leave it up to him. In the side, you're going to get away from the Spies. You're going to go back to the Kinetics. The 1-of Zumbira, the Smashing Ground, again, is going to be in the side deck. You have the Zaborg and the Mobius, and also you have the Magician of Faith, Reaper, and the Amazoness Arch for burn with 2 Mystic Walks. I don't know who they thought was going to be the burn duelist in, but LaBounty was not going to get caught with his pants down, still rocking Mystic Walk technology in this tournament, and it could have worked, but I don't think anyone was playing the burn strategy in this thing. You did have Delinquent in here, who's a world champion. Maybe he thought that could have been a rego or a redo into burn, but it just didn't happen. But still, better be prepared than not. All right, but solid deck. Tell me what you guys think about this warrior deck. I'm probably going to try this myself and just see how it feels for me, and you guys can probably do the same. You got the 1-of Magician of Faith patent pending. All right. So that's going to be your top 4. That is LaBounty playing the Warriors. Okay, moving on to top 4 again. We have, speaking of top 4, speaking of Delinquent, we were just talking about the world champion, GFC champion, FLC champion, trying to become Clash, made it all the way to the top 4, man, and didn't convert. I know that kind of hurts world champs' feelings a little bit, but this deck was the spiciest deck of the tournament. You got zombie warriors out here. I thought that this deck was just a meme. I didn't think that this would be a realistic thing that could actually happen and have some wins, but this thing was kicking people's man. It was jumping all over people. The giant rats, the mystic, the pyramid turtles, the rota stuff. It was just really being able to do everything the warriors can do, but still have a little bit of rigidity. And then you got the Ryuko coming over the top. You got BLS coming over the top. So it's like a zombie deck or an aggro deck that can also play Blackluster Soldier. I didn't think it was possible, but maybe the world champ has now shown you guys that you can probably do something like this. So take these as a building block, as the one of Blade Knight, double Ninja Grandmaster. I think double Ninja Grandmaster could be the future. You know what I'm saying? GK Spy needs to be answered. People are putting their Chaos Monsters out in defense position. That stuff needs to be answered. Spirit Reaper is coming back. That thing needs to be answered. All this stuff, Ninja Grandmaster can handle a lot of that stuff. And I thought Rat stock was down, but apparently Rat is still super playable, especially when Rat leads the Pyramid Turtle. Just recruiters sticking all over the place, getting all over the field, halting your opponent's attack, GK Spy attack, Pyramid Turtle crash into it, Ryukoki. You guys already know what time it is, man. So cool zombie aggro warrior deck. I'm not even sure what we're calling this, but it's the delinquent special, and I think this deck is rock solid. So this is another one I would love to take out and test drive. Maybe we can do something for it on the channel or something like that, just to try, because everyone loves zombies, everyone loves, you know, off meta stuff, and this one is really cool. Cool deck from the GFC FLC world champion out here in Clash. And now I believe we're going to top two. We're going to second place. We have Geist D playing the Chaos Control deck. This is very similar to the deck Geist D has been playing pretty much when they're on the circuit, when they're on the scene. They're playing a deck that kind of looks like this, but they kind of change it a little bit. You're going to get triple Jargri back into the main deck, double Solemn, one Regeki break. You have the double creature swap, triple Scapegoat, double Metamorphosis. That is just... I'm loving that ratio myself. I'm playing that ratio when I play my control decks, and I am absolutely a fan of that. It feels good. It feels like you're not bricking as much. And you also have the Assure Priest is going to be in the main deck. That'll help you generate more utility with your creature swap, along with the Tsukiyomi as well. You're not playing the Morphing Jar like you used to, but still, I think that is I think the deck is super duper solid. Very, very low on the monsters as well, but I think if you know how to play it, and clearly this duelist knows how to use it, it'll work out for you. So just the two Chaos Mons, you get maximum value out of your Thunder Dragons. You can even meta those things. You can get aggressive. I've seen them doing a lot of beatdown stuff with the damn Thunder Dragons, with the Assure Priest, using creature swap very well. The GK Spies can still do their thing. The one of Dekoichi does his thing, and it's just enough damage output in order to stall the game out, set up some plays, and get to the dubs, man. In the side deck, you have another Assure Priest for the mirror or for the reasoning gate stuff. You have the legendary Jujutsu Master, which is the tech of the day, you know, having that thing in, and it worked out great in certain spots. You have another Regeki break, and you have some walks in there for the burn stuff. As you have Sakuretsu armors are going to be in triplicates in the side deck as well. Solid Chaos Control deck. Chaos Control is back like it never left, you know, because of Geist D specifically. And Don't Copy didn't play in this tournament, but you know, he has been playing Chaos Control this season as well. All right, and that is going to be Geist D coming in for second place. Congratulations to you. Thank you for your participation, and hopefully we see you at the next Clash Champions next year. Okay. And finally, coming in at first place for Clash of Champions 2024, we have the Nasty Beast MB96 playing none other than the Reasoning Gate strategy. Okay, RGT is back and up. It won a GOAT Grand Prix in Germany. It won a couple of events last year, and everyone always talks about how like glass cannon that this deck is, and how it will eventually ultimately lose to itself. And that most of that stuff is true. And like I said, this was a smaller tournament, a little bit more intimate tournament. So maybe it might not be a lot to take away from it. Maybe it's still a flash in the pan. Maybe it's still not real. But just seeing some of the plays that he was making and seeing some things that were happening, it really opened my eyes to how powerful that this deck can actually be. It is he was playing it so well, and it's just so annoying to play against. But if you are into this game and you're trying to just play a deck and you're trying to grind a deck, maybe this could be the deck. Because if everyone's going to sit here and play Chaos Turbo all the time, playing the same Chaos Turbo 55 cards all the time, maybe you can start grinding this deck and just start peeling wins off of those duels and force them to change some cards up. That could be the future. It's not going to be the funnest future, but eventually when people start to build their decks a little bit different to account for this deck, if you notice in the other top 8 of this tournament, no one is playing any cards for Reasoning Gate. There are very few cards for Reasoning Gate. You don't see any Karibos like you used to. You don't see any Threatening Roars. You don't see any Jowgans. You don't see any Anti-Spell Fragrance. You don't see any of that stuff in anyone's deck list. And then a deck like this comes through and just bulldozes through the whole freaking tournament because there's nothing to oppose them. In the side deck, you do have the spell counters for your own self. You have the Blowback Dragon in there. And you have the Tech Tyrant Dragon. What is Tyrant Dragon doing in this deck? I think it's another level 8 monster that maybe if you feel your opponent is not calling 8s a lot, you can slip that bad boy in and just hope that Tyrant can come out and just start beating some ass. And it is a cool ass card, so you got to play cool cards. And then you got the double Brain Control. You have the Lightning Vortex, Swords Veil and Light, Mirror, Triple Decree, Saku, and Torrential. I think those 4 cards, the Mirror, the Saku, and Torrential, those are some change up haymaker cards that'll just blow someone completely out of this game, because you will never see those things coming, especially if it's like a game 2 into game 3 scenario where they showed you Royal Decree. Like, say if he brings in Royal Decree one time and you get stuck with Royal Decree, and then next game, if he throws Mirror Force and TT and Saku's at you, you will get blown out. Like, it is so easy to play into those cards against this deck because you're just going to assume that they don't have them. And guess what? You're probably not playing Heavy Storm, probably not playing, you know, any of that kind of stuff. You're probably just vibing, and you're going to get absolutely blasted by a Torrential Tribute, and it was still a game from you real quick. So I think this one is probably the more overt blow you out FTK or OTK version. I've seen other versions, but I think this one is probably going to be one of the best. And as this one has won the Clash of Champions, it's probably going to be setting the standard as the new identity of what Reasoning Gate is. And Nasty Beast is going to be at the helm of the Reasoning Gate strategy and Go format until someone else can come and make more advancements in the deck. I've also reached out to this duelist, and we're going to kind of sit down and talk about his theory on Reasoning Gate and talk about his tournament preparation and tournament performance. So stay tuned for that video. We're going to make that happen soon. But duelist, I just want to kind of go over these decks really quickly and give you my initial thoughts about it. I'll make sure these up on the website here pretty soon. And that is going to be Clash of Champions. Thank you everyone who watched the stream. The stream is all live up on this channel right now. Go back and check it out. Thanks to everyone who participated in the stream and everyone who played in this tournament. And I hope to see you all at the next Clash of Champions next year. Until next time, as always, I'm JDZ. I play Ghost. Shout out to the real ones. Salute to the OGs.